Franz Rosenzweig is one of the most original contemporary philosophers, and he contributed to a neo-Hegelian revival in Germany. After the traumatic experience of World War I, he elaborated an anti-totalitarian new thinking. His account of revelation as a call from the absolute other and his co-existentialist approach helped to shape the course of 20th century philosophy and theology. His reflections on finitude and the temporal contours of human experience made a deep impact on 20th century humanistic studies. His presentation of dialogue as an interpersonal relationship between I and you is held as constitutive of selfhood and community. In his own words, he points out that each person has two names, a family name and a proper name. We are the result of our inheritance and of our future. Hegel's view of thinking and being prevents the structural and unifying power of revelation and turns man into a mere tool of totality. Kierkegaard, and not only he, contested the Hegelian integration of revelation into the all. The point in question is Soren Kierkegaard's own consciousness of personal sin and of personal redemption, which neither aspired to nor gave access to a dissolution into the cosmos. Schopenhauer was the first among the great thinkers to be concerned not with the essence but with the value of the world. Now, facing this knowable world, there rose another independent reality, the living human being. Before the all, there rose the one who mocked all totality and all universality. Yet here there arrived a man who knew his life and his soul like a poet, and obeyed their voice like a saint, and yet he was a philosopher. Man, in the simple oneness of his own being, strode out of the world that knew itself as a thinkable world, strode out of the all of philosophy. He who questions the totality of being, as is the case here, refutes the unity of thinking. He who does this throws the gauntlet to the whole venerable brotherhood of philosophers from Ionia to Jena. Our time has done this. The Star is a system of philosophy that seeks to give a comprehensive and ramified account of all that is, and of the human being's place within that all. It is a system in which revelation plays a vital conceptual and methodological role, and in which Judaism and Christianity are claimed to offer glimpses of the redemptive unity of the all, which the philosopher seeks to know. The womb of the inexhaustible earth ceaselessly gives birth to what is new, and each one is subject to death. Each newly born waits with fear and trembling for the day of its passage into the dark. But philosophy refutes these earthly fears. Even from out of the fog with which philosophy envelops it, its harsh cry resounds unremittingly. Philosophy would have liked to swallow it into the night of the nothing, but it could not break off its poisonous sting. And the fear man feels, trembling before this sting, always cruelly belies the compassionate lie of philosophy. If philosophy did not want to stop its ears before the cry of frightened humanity, it would have had to take the following as its point of departure. The nothing of death is a something. Each renewed nothing of death is a new something that frightens anew, and that cannot be passed over in silence, nor be silenced. Metaphysic. The meta-ethical concept of man is not exhausted by the fact that he has his own ethos in him. The metalogical concept of the world is not exhausted by the fact that it has his own logos in it. Likewise, the metaphysical of God is just as little exhausted by the fact that God has his own nature. Metalogic. The world is logical as it exists according to the laws of nature. Yet the world's existence transcends all logic as it is the outcome of an act of pure love and is therefore metalogical. Meta-ethic. Philosophy had thought it could take hold of man, including man as personality and ethics, but that was an impossible aspiration. Facing the view of the world, the view of life demands recognition. Ethics is and remains a part of the view of the world. These concepts, metaphysics, metalogic, and metaethics, point out that life is bigger than thought and that man must willingly accept his vocation to do justice and to be good with all his heart and to walk humbly with his God. With creation of world and man by God, man knows life and comes to term with his finitude and mortality. With the dialogue of revelation between God and man, man understands that as strong as death is love. It falls upon man to lead the world and all within it to redemption. Because love is stronger than death. Because love is life.